So, what you want to talk about?
I'm going to talk about personal finance.
Okay. We got finances that are personal.
It is interesting that the American personal finance is definitely a joke.
Yeah.
That's why you started laughing.
Basically.
Everybody broke.
I was about to say, you're my personal finance person.
76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. But somehow we survived a year pandemic.
Because they were printing money.
Because they were letting you not pay rent.
And they were printing money.
Okay.
And people were eating good with them PEBT cards.
We did gain some weight.
We didn't have a PEBT card. But we did eat great.
What is a PEBT card?
It's that card that you get if you're a parent and they load money on it for your kids.
Okay.
Did you didn't know what that was?
No,
Oh yeah.
I did.
Yeah. So your kids, basically because you were homeschooling your kids for so long, like people,
they gave you food?
the school normally would offer food to feed you and to feed your kids, but because they weren't in school, parents were having to feed their kids.
Right.
So the government paid them to feed their kids.
So
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
So they made an EBT card basically to give back their taxpayer money?
I don't know. Basically, I guess. That makes sense.
Who said you weren't generous, babe? You fed all them kids.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. My address is P.O. Box 431, Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. You can send me a nice thank you card.
28512.
28512. I love thank you cards. I'm actually looking for a pen pal. So if anybody wants to pen pal me, be my pen pal. Apparently, prisoners aren't a good idea, so learned that this weekend. But I'll take you could be weird. It's fine. I can't do the prison pen pals.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, personal finance.
You text me enough. Is that not enough?
For what? Oh, being a pen pal?
Yeah.
No, I want to sit down and write a letter.
Like all professional?
Yeah. Not professional. Like, that's what people did.
My dearest John.
You talk about the Dear John show. Dear John movie. You're a best.
It is the future and you are in the past. Blah, blah, blah.
I don't remember that movie. I'm sure I cried though, but...
Alright,
anyways.
So why is personal finance not taught in schools?
They just want to repeat the cycle of us not knowing what to do with our money and then telling us what to do with our money.
Incorrect.
Because they feel like parents should teach their own kids about personal finance.
Okay.
Do you think
Elaborate. Why?
Probably because everybody's situation's different, and probably because they don't want to be held liable for telling your kid what to do with their money.
Well, basically, each religion has their own way of handling personal finances.
Interesting.
Some religions allow for certain things and some religions don't.
Really?
Yep. So it's almost like a separation of church and state.
Did you Google that? Or you kind of just came up with that? Oh, okay. That makes sense. I was not going there with that. I was just thinking that they just like to teach useless, electives. Because
the Bible says to run from debt like the gazelle runs from the lion.
We all running right to it.
And how many people are following
Getting chopped by the lion. But I'm definitely not a gazelle, so I wouldn't be that animal. Makes sense.
So. So that's where this idea that you should be taught personal finance at home or even in church.
If you go. to church.
Saying
I don't know. I mean, I got taught this part of personal finance, like, when I started having enough money to put in a bank account, like, my mom sat me down and gave me, like, a checkbook, and I would write down what I spent and how much money, and I would have to do the math on the ledger checkbook, and then it'd have to match your bank statement, and there weren't really computers at that time, so, like, you got your bank statement in the mail.
That's right.
And you would just check it off. And that was a lot of work, but I mean, I got taught that, where you can't spend more than you have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you do, then your bank will charge you an overdraft fee. And I got taught if you didn't have any money left, then you didn't have any money to spend, so you can't spend any more money until you make more. That was something I learned. That's personal finance. And then with my car situation, when I was old enough, my grandpa sat down with me and showed me how to manage to know how much to expect of what to spend on a car each month or each year, and how much money you need to just go ahead and plan for and have a set aside for that kind of situation when I got my first car. So I guess I still learned personal finance from my parents, but I also learned their way of personal finance.
Right.
And it might not be the right way for me, like save every penny that you've ever made. Now I know that, to a certain extent, you do need an emergency fund, so I was prepping for that, but I could have been playing in the stock market or whatever and making more money, you know what I'm saying, with my own money. Right?
So what were your grandparents doing for you that other people's grandparents may not have been doing?
You're talking about that little bank account?
So...
Oh, yeah, so I had a bank account.
Your grandparents bought you bonds.
Oh, yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
U.S. government bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What else?
That bank account.
So you had a mutual fund.
A mutual fund that I just recently cashed out. It wasn't like a lot, but...
Right. So why would some grandparents be able to do that and some people not?
Be able to do that? Do what?
Bonds basically invest. Like, what would be the reason that some do and some don't?
Maybe they knew my parents weren't going to do it for me. I don't know. So, in the Bible Belt, investing is considered gambling. Oh, my family's from up north, so...
Right.
Hey.
So...
we gambling.
It's technically against a lot of religious beliefs to invest.
Invest in... What about...
Because that's considered gambling.
What about getting a house? That's not investing, is it? They wouldn't even buy a house?
That's a place to live.
But knowing that you're going to pass it down to your family when you die.
So just that difference in religion would cause you not to invest in the stock market, not to invest in bonds.
Oh. What about doing
You might still invest in real estate.
What about doing a life insurance policy? Is that still gambling?
No.
Oh, okay. I know some people's grandparents did that for them.
Gave them a whole life insurance policy from Gerber or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, like... they had a life insurance policy that paid the grandkids or kids when they died.
Right. Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Okay.
But it's something to think about, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That was considered gambling.
Mm-hmm.
But how is stocks and bonds considered gambling? Because they bought it at half the price. Or
because
like a discounted price.
Because it could go up or it could go down.
Oh. Most of mine are up.
Yeah. But what happened to cause it to go up?
Inflation. That's why anyone wants to keep inflating.
What caused inflation?
Printing money.
Printing money. Why do we have the ability to print money?
Because it's literally printed from a machine, and they could just hit one button and just put it right into circulation.
That is correct. But what gave the government the ability to do that?
COVID. A natural disaster. Supposedly natural. I
So, President Nixon took us
off the gold standard.
off
Okay.
the gold standard. That's right.
Okay, so now I'm recalling all the other podcasts we've done. Just kidding.
And that gave the government the ability to print more money. So,
excuse me, that's interesting. Yeah, for sure.
So,
as I yawn, I'm sorry, but
so previous generations, everyone that followed Christian principles, where you save money, not invest money, all got screwed. Because the value of the dollar went from here to now we've lost 90% of the dollar's spending power since 1971.
because of inflation.
Because of printing money.
Well, they can just keep on printing. I have, I think, 3 more years of maturity for most of mine.
Right.
For maximum maturity. Then I'm going to be rich! Just kidding. I'm not. It's not that many, but... It's more than you! Just kidding again.
So, and not only did this devaluation of the dollar cause people that save money to lose, but then the ones that were making money, we all now live paycheck to paycheck.
Because of what?
Because the value of the dollar is crap. Can't buy anything.
Oh, I know.
Gum used to be a nickel.
Not during our time.
No, not in our time.
But like,
I mean,
just
you could get one piece for a nickel.
Right. Just in our time, in the past couple of, I would say year or two, maybe 2 years. Like, I'm trying to think of what I bought, and I'm like, I don't even question it anymore. Like, I just buy it now because if I sit here and question what place is going to have it cheaper, or I don't remember spending that much in the past, like, I wouldn't buy anything at all. But now we just do swipe the credit card because it's going to get paid off. But at the same time, I'm trying to think what it was. We were somewhere and I was like, this definitely shoes. Just
sure,
shoes. Like, we went to Kohl's and I'm like,
your Vans were $85.
no, they weren't.
Oh.
They were actually on sale. But like your shoes.
Oh, my shoes are ridiculous.
Those dad shoes. They used to buy.
My dad's shoes were $65, yeah.
And we used to buy them because
they were
$35. Yeah, like with tax and everything. And Nate was like, they're comfortable, they're fine. Like, I'm not hurting in them. Like, I'll buy the cheapest shoes because, you know, whatever. And now they're $65. And we're like, what?
I think that's because of the TikTok trend.
You think Kohl's knows about that?
I think New Balance does.
Maybe.
They probably caused the TikTok trend. They probably paid people to cause the trend.
You're a trendsetter before your time.
Where you get all these kids to do a TikTok with New Balances on.
Well, their dad.
Their dad shoes.
If your dad
has white New Balances with the blue end.
And talking about if your dad wears these shoes and he knows how to fix anything or something.
You know?
When you see a guy walk in, with these shoes, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, we should do one with me and you doing that. I'm sure you still have a pair.
No, I don't.
You have the newest brand of it, which is that brown, that black and blue. That's going to be the next.
That's a Fila.
Oh.
It's not a New Balance.
You're right.
But shout out Fila.
Boo. Y'all need a TikTok too, but give us a discount code because we're not trying to spend $65 on shoes. But yeah, and that was my whole point, is that just things are constantly like increasing and creeping up and what the cost is for it, and it's just like that literally doubled in price over 5 years, you know, like over the course of the 5 years. It's wild. Food even.
But yeah, so this caused people that save money to lose.